Hi, I'm Lisa Hayden with Central Kentucky TV, Channel 6, Community Focus on Washington County. And today we have as our first guest, Reba Hamiton. Welcome, Reba.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, Reba, there are numerous reasons I wanted you to be on here today.
All righty. Well, let's hear them.
And one is of all the work that you have done with homemakers.
Well, yes, I was telling Gary I felt like that was probably one of the reasons that you'd like for me to be here.
Yes.
I've been a homemaker for 57 years.
Yes.
And enjoyed every minute of it. I really have.
Mm-hmm.
But I was saying that homemakers has changed a whole lot since I first got in it. Back then, we had what we called a home agent, and they just dealt with the homemakers. We had lots of crafts and cooking lessons and things like that. Nowadays, we have what they call family something. I don't know exactly what that is, but anyway, it's more or less for everybody, and they take up community things that are going on, which we didn't pay any attention to back then with our agent, and but it's been a lovely ride.
Yeah. So now, of course, I know you've been a homemaker within your home.
Yes.
In Springfield, and you are from Springfield.
Right.
You were a
mower.
Mower.
All my family's gone from here. I have one sister in the Maryland, in the Washington, D.C. area, and one brother in El Paso. And 3 brothers have passed away. And so I'm kind of on by myself.
Now, were the Moores in the Valley Hill,
I
area?
don't really know. My daddy was kind of an orphan, and he didn't have any family. And I don't know whether he didn't want a family. He kind of felt like he got mistreated or something. I never did understand exactly. But we don't have any more relatives. We were distant kin to Billy Moore, who died,
Mm-hmm.
Betty Moore's husband. We were distantly kin to them, but other than that, there's no Moores that
Mm-hmm.
I know of.
And you grew up in what area?
Armory Hill.
Armory Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you grew up in town.
I grew up in town.
I don't know if you could call it town.
Well, back then it wasn't, because that was the only house up there
Yeah.
when we moved up there in the 1930s, 60s, I think, something like that. But
it was probably mostly farmland.
It was just this one little house sitting up out there where Charlie Osborne lives now. Of course, he's changed it so much, but we lived there, and then the road stopped right there. I mean, that's as far as it went. At that time, it was called Doctor Street.
Really? Okay.
And it wasn't called Armory Hill until they built the Armory up there, and they changed its name to Armory Hill.
Right, because at the other end, across Main Street, it is Doctor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't that something? I sure didn't know that.
Well, that's what it was.
Uh-huh. So you watched that area build up as
Mm-hmm.
you were
growing
up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have some friends up on?
Well, the Loxtons moved to the bottom of the hill eventually, and the Hintons, Olivia Hinton's family, moved to town, and they lived up in the little house at the top of the hill. So, and other than that, until people started building and so forth,
Mm-hmm.
we just didn't have any neighbors.
And where did you attend school?
We went to St. Dominic's and then St. Catherine's.
Okay. So you walked to St. Dominic's every day?
Walked to St. Dominic's.
Walked through the snow and everything?
Walked through the snow and walked home for lunch.
Did you really?
We got an hour for lunch, and everybody walked home for lunch. We didn't have lunchroom at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I graduated from St. Catherine's, I worked at Armour for 10 years.
So you went to St. Catherine Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the bus got to pick you up
Oh,
then.
yeah, the bus picked us up at the Robertson's Corner.
Okay.
And so forth, took us back to St. Catherine's every day, Mr. Field.
Mr. Field,
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And you enjoyed your years at St. Catherine? You
enjoyed
had
my
all
years.
nuns teaching you then.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. All nuns.
Are you having good experiences there?
Well, I mean, they were all good. I felt like I got a good education. I was able to get a job with my shorthand and typing right out of high school and didn't have to go to college or a business school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to work at Armour really before I got out of school. I started in April and didn't graduate till May. But I worked down there 10 years
Uh-huh.
before I married.
Uh-huh. And then you met Mr. Sports.
Well, yes, he was hauling milk at that time, but then he went away to the service in the 50s to Korea service, and then at that time he was going with somebody else, and then I met him again after he came back.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been married 57 years. We'll be 58 in February.
Wow. And so after you married, you didn't continue to
Oh,
work?
back then that was a no-no. You quit work and raised a family. You didn't dare work.
Uh-huh.
So I quit work, and we lived up on Riser Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 4 children born up there, and then 1 after we moved out on Lincoln Park Road.
Mm-hmm.
But so I have five children.
Yes. And so then you stayed home, and you were a homemaker there.
Yes, I was. Mm-hmm.
And probably had a garden.
Oh, well, I never was an outdoor person.
Ah.
I didn't. Bobby had a garden, but I didn't really. We froze, but we didn't. We didn't can.
Uh-huh.
But we never did raise a big garden or anything like that. Just kind of keep you through the summer.
Uh-huh. But now I know you're a fabulous cook.
Well, I don't know about that. My kids think so, but they certainly do enjoy it.
Yeah. And so with the homemakers, because often, you know, every year I always looked forward to the homemakers bazaar
Well, yeah.
because you always had wonderful pies and cakes and breads and
Candy.
You make some excellent candy.
Yeah, I like candy making.
Hmm. And of course I always bought all that and froze it till
Ready for Christmas.
for Christmas. Yeah. And so there were several homemaker clubs here in the county,
Mm-hmm.
and you were a member of
Town and Country.
Town and Country.
Mm-hmm.
So, and who were some of those? Who were some of those members?
Well, we've lost quite a few members to death as we get older. Our club's, one of the older clubs. But right now we have Martha Ann Hayden and Martha Staten and Anna Faye Salee. And that's about it. We just have and Lorraine is still a member. Lorraine McMurtry,
Uh-huh.
103, so she's
Yeah.
still one of our members.
Well, she's amazing.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. And ought to have Lorraine on here. She's just celebrated her 103rd, didn't she?
In October. Mhm.
Yeah. So, and then I think she still drives and
Well, she's in the rest home right now at the assistant living over at Lebanon. She broke her ankle, and she's had a hard time getting it to heal. But
okay.
she's still over there.
Okay. Well, she's an amazing woman. And now, and so at one time I know you were in charge of or over these clubs or something.
Well, I've been county president twice and then area president.
Okay.
And that's when I was over all the counties.
Was that the Lincoln Trail
area? Mm-hmm.
Area Development District
Yeah.
homemakers?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And so, of course, that entailed meetings.
And
Mhm.
being on state board meetings and things like that when you're area president.
Mm-hmm.
But as I say, I've enjoyed all my homemaker activities and so forth.
Mhm.
I really have.
And I suppose the homemakers are, as you said before, they focused, it was all about meeting each month and getting
Homes.
meeting in each other's homes
Yeah.
and what, exchanging recipes? Or,
Well, we usually have a lesson each month
okay.
that comes out from the state.
Okay.
But right now it's gotten to be what we call talkie lessons, instead of hands-on.
Uh-huh.
So I think
And-
that's one reason we've lost some members.
Uh-huh.
But the young people just don't have time.
Yeah.
We're an older club right now, quite a bit older, so I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Well, now, in the lessons, they would be on cooking and
Cooking and so forth. It would be like fall fashions, or sometime it would be like what's good to clean with, you know, things like that, so forth. It's just right now they're talking about beating the winter blues. That's one of the lessons coming up, and so forth. So it's things like that that are more open to everybody instead of just a homemaker.
Well, I would say those are certainly all good lessons that every
They are.
woman needs within her home.
I think so too.
And so you don't have to necessarily be so you don't have to be a member of the women's club, of the homemakers club to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they always have lesson sheets at the extension office if anybody's interested.
Okay. So the extension office is still over the homemakers.
Oh yes.
Okay.
We have Cabrina Buckman
Okay.
is our leader,
Okay.
but it's called Family Services or FCS or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not called extension office.
Right.
It's not. She's not called our leader.
Right.
Our
right.
extension leader.
Right. And of course, Cabrina, she's on this show occasionally, and I think Gary does cooking lessons with her.
I've seen Gary and Cabrina cooking.
I know, and that's always very interesting and good. Good items to cook that are healthy and nutritious, and I guess that's what we're all striving for.
That's what we're all striving for these days.
And I think last night they had the Washington on Wellness dinner.
Yes,
did you
they did.
attend that?
Yes, Bobby and I both went.
Okay, so and that Cabrina is focusing on and several organizations, I think, including the homemakers.
Yes.
Focus on this Washington on Wellness, Washington County on Wellness, which involves nutritious foods and healthy lifestyles.
That's true.
So, and I think also good tips, like you say, with regard to family life and beating the blues, for example. Yeah. And so I know you've been, I can remember seeing you one time, or at least a couple of times, I remember seeing you at the state convention in Louisville one year. And I've seen you run into you in Frankfurt. I think you all have done, recognized in Frankfurt and lobbied on activities
that's true.
that were important to families. So you've been a very active and a group that has been a benefit to the whole community.
Oh, I think so too. I really do.
And the whole state.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, Reba, I do have to ask you this. Now, as we mentioned before we came on the air, one of the signature trait about Reba are her hats, and you can always count on Reba having a stylish hat on, and you are a stylish woman,
Well,
Reba.
thank you.
And so you always stay up on the latest trends, and so I can always count on seeing you at an event in a very nice hat.
Well, I'm glad. Got lots of hats.
Yeah.
And I enjoy wearing them.
Yeah. Did you get a lot of your hats from the hat shop here in
Well, when Miss
Spring-
Effie had her hat shop, I had my going away trousseau hat from Miss Effie's. But at that time, Robertson's also had hats. And I had an aunt that worked up there, and she kind of, she wanted me to have this and that and the other. So I usually got one hat there and one hat from Miss Effie.
Now, who was she, your aunt?
Miss Fanny B. Smith.
Okay.
She worked at Robertson's all her life, many, many years.
Mm-hmm. And so you just had the hats from everywhere. And a nice hat, as I'm sure you could tell the audience,
Yeah.
Never goes out of style.
Well, that's true. Well, when Father Mark was in Detroit, he had a hat made for me by a hat maker there in Detroit. It's purple with red flowers on it.
Oh, my.
So I don't get to wear it too often, but I do try to wear it once or twice a year.
Uh-huh. Maybe at Derby time.
Well, no, this is a winter hat.
Oh, this is a winter hat. Okay. So, well, good. Now, I don't know if your daughters have developed that.
No, they don't like hats.
They don't like hats?
They don't like to dress.
Uh-huh. And a lot of women, I suppose, don't wear hats like they used to.
No, they just don't wear hats anymore. I think the bouffant hairdos did away with hats.
Oh, I never thought about that. But I guess that's correct. That's right.
You didn't want to mess your
hair up. That's right. Those bouffants, I guess they were popular in the 60s, and so
started it.
And that's when probably when hat wearing.
Hats went out.
I just never thought of that. Well, thank you for that information. But I do like a nice hat, and I think they are coming back into style now that bouffants are gone.
Yeah, you can find some now. There for a while, you couldn't even find a hat in a store.
Yeah.
But you can find some. I got this hat last year at Dillard's, I guess. They had some hats.
Now, Reba, I have to mention too that now you received an award at St. Dominic this year.
Well,
your family was here last year.
Last year.
Father Mark was here, and Inez and Becky, and I think your son from where does
well, Rob's in Chicago.
Rob's in Chicago.
And Matt's in Salisbury, Maryland.
Maryland, okay.
But,
and they were all here, or I'm not sure if
no,
Matt
wasn't here.
Yeah, but they were all here for your award, which was the what was that award called?
Alumni, I guess alumni.
Alumni of the Year.
Yeah.
At St. Dominic.
At St. Dominic's.
Their annual banquet. And now I think you've probably, have you received, no, I was trying to think, was there something other award here in the county in the last, was it with the homemakers or women's, well, of course you've always been a member of the Women's Club. And I don't know how many years that was.
That was about 1963.
63, okay.
Still went on, president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, all those good things through the years.
Yeah, you kept the Women's Club active for a long time. And when you were in the Women's Club, you had, there used to be that tasting every year at Christmas time, which I thoroughly miss.
Yeah, we did.
And we would go to what, 3 different homes?
3 or 4 different homes.
And everybody would have an appetizer at that home. And so and we got the recipes.
Yes, we did.
And that was always nice.
Well, the thing that kept the Women's Club going, I guess, money-wise, was the senior banquet.
Yeah.
That's what really kept us going through the state bank.
Yeah. And you organize that every year.
Yeah, I've had that for a number of years.
And the Women's Club would put on the senior banquet at the high school for the graduating seniors, and we would serve it and bring
everybody brought
foods, and then the bank would sponsor us. Yeah, and that would help keep the Women's Club building going.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So, well, and now, what are you up to now?
Well, right now I'm not doing a whole lot. I go to the library at St. Dominic's on Thursday afternoons for a couple hours.
And volunteer
there. And of course, we have the Eucharistic minister and the lectors and all all that in the church, so that keeps you pretty busy sometime.
Yeah, you're very active there
And
at St.
just
Dominic.
keeping up with the grandchildren now is
Uh-huh.
the thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you have several of those.
Well, I have 10.
10, wow.
10.
And we know that the oldest, Bob, is doing very well.
Yeah, he's in Germany.
Oh, he's in Germany. That's right.
He's doing his senior year at Virginia Tech through the German college over there. So he's been over there since August, and he'll be till next September before he gets home.
Yeah.
But Mark is fixing to go over there on the 28th to visit him for a week, so that'll ease both of them's pain.
Oh, that will be nice. Well, I know you're very proud of your family,
I am very proud.
and I know that your family's very proud of you.
Well, I hope so.
And I just want to thank you for all the things that you have done in this community
Well.
through the years, and for your continued work.
I don't know how much longer it's going to continue.
Well, all I have to say is you look fabulous.
Well, thank
and
you.
I know you've been going to the gym,
Oh, yes.
and you stay
I
active
go
and in
to
shape.
go to the Lebanon Aquatic Center,
Okay.
water aerobics 3 days a week. And I
Wow.
think that keeps me limber
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. But I try to enjoy life. I watch a lot of television more than I used to, but I don't have as many to cook for. I don't have as many to clean for, and so forth. So I have more time to watch television.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you deserve that after all this time. I'm going to tell you that. So I just want to thank you for everything, and I appreciate you coming and being on the show today.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
And I wish you a Merry Christmas, and I hope all the family gets in.
Most of them will.
Yeah.
Everybody but Matt will be here. He doesn't come home all that often.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else will be there strongly, strong.
Well, good. Well, thank you very much, Reba.
All righty. Thank you.